Mic'd up.
Everybody to the Warrior Companion PAWDcast. Enjoy candid conversations and lighthearted banter about healing, hope, and helping heroes through the eyes of the folks from Warrior Companion and their canines. Remember, not all heroes wear capes. Some also have paws. The Warrior Companion PAWDcast is presented by Zenni Optical, high-quality, affordable eyewear for all at zennioptical.com, and sponsored by the Animal Hospital, Sullivan County, New York, where pets are family, at ahofsc.com. ahofsc.com, Animal Hospital of Sullivan County.com. My name is John Rager, PJ of America member professional, and I'm joined by our co-host, Jack Bodolowski, founder of Warrior Companion and this podcast at warriorcompanion.com. We have a special guest today, and we should say guests because our guests are Mike Epi Epstein and his dog, Sophia. So with that, Jack, I'm going to turn it over to you, and that before you get started with Mike and stuff, just tell us a little bit about what is Warrior Companion and what's your mission out there? What are you doing?
So Warrior Companion is a nonprofit, a 501(c), which is completely tax deductible for anybody that donates. It takes the funds and provides pet insurance for disabled veterans' service animals so that it can go to any veterinarian they need to go to. It takes care of the preventative care and any catastrophe care that they have that comes along, God forbid, up to $25,000. So we have 13 dogs that we fund right now and 13 veterans with 13 amazing animals. And the biggest reason why we're doing this podcast is because, we talk about the veteran and their needs, but we don't hear the stories of how the service animal has changed the veterans' lives. And that's what we're gonna focus on these podcasts. We're gonna talk about why the service animal is their hero and what that service animal does for them.
Hey, Jack, for our listeners and viewers out there, I tried my best to say it correctly. I think you said it better than I did. We're saying PAWS cast, like PAWS, PAWS.
It's actually pod
versus
like pod. There's a
POD.
D in there.
Well, I'm about to work on that. I'll practice that for our next episode, but continue on.
So, yep. So that's where we're at here today. So I have a very good friend of mine. He and I served in the same battleground, shared the same sweat and sand and blood and spit.
Lies.
And he lives not too far from me, and he's an amazing guy. As you get to know him as time goes on, he kind of wears on you like a bad penny, but anyway. But mostly Sophia is an amazing dog, and I want Michael to kind of just explain to us what Sophia actually means to him, and get his story of how Sophia helps him on a day-to-day routine that we don't really understand how important these animals are to these veterans. So, Michael, you have the floor.
All right. So during
Hey,
war,
Michael, before you get started,
yes,
let's see Sophia.
she just ran out.
Let's get Sophia in here. Because Sophia's the guest too. Ah, there we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, we present you Sophia.
Hello. And there's also a jealous one because so we have 3 dogs, and one of them's a little jealous right this moment. But so, where do you guys want me to start? From the beginning or from?
Just talk about, how you got her, where you got her from, because that's
All right.
important.
All right. So one day, 7 years ago, wow, 7 years ago, in April, my lieutenant from Alpha Company 76 Infantry called me up and said, "Hey, I bought property, built a house, but I want to change the um, the lower house into a uh, Airbnb. So me and my roommate and I went down there and helped him, you know, do things. I worked for the phone company, so I did the wiring. You know, we came home and my wife said, the um, the kids want to go look at these puppies. Okay, I don't know. So it was a Saint Bernard Newfoundland that had puppies, and the kids chose Sophia to come here. A couple of years down the line, I'm uh, I'm housebound. I hardly ever leave the house. Hang on, I gotta go let the third dog in now because he's scratching.
That
Um,
is great. Love it.
I'll let them in. Do your podcast.
what?
Do your podcast. I'll let them in.
Oh, so like I said, the kids chose Sophia to come home. Uh, a couple of years went by, and Warrior, let's see, Vet to Vet of Sullivan County, um, offered training for us. They sent the trainer here. We noticed that every time I was starting to have a seizure, she would get up in my lap, she'd push on me and alert basically that a seizure was incoming. We were hit by a nerve agent during the war. I've had seizures since for 34 years now, but I didn't know it until 12 years come August that I was having seizures. The VA just told me it was PTSD from being in combat. Losing time is normal, but like I said, she started jumping up on me every time a seizure was inbound. Um, Vet to Vet paid for a trainer to come here. We took 5 8-week courses. Um, sit, stay, uh, letting her off the leash, making her stay, walking 30 feet away, turning around, recall, all that kind of good stuff. Um, we took her to the casino here in Sullivan County so that there was a lot of distractions. She just stuck by me. Uh, in fact, we were just out in Vegas the 28th to the 3rd with the American Pool Players Association, and she flew at my feet. Jack and I have flown to
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas. Yep, and she stayed right at my feet on the flight. She's flown 4 or 5 different times now. Um, so after the 5 8 week trainings, we got a AKC certificate, but there's no licensing. Um, there's no cards or anything, and that makes it difficult when Sophia and I go out and do something that somebody with a support animal that isn't trained, isn't is aggressive or whatever. Now we have to deal with people that don't know. Um,
We'll
but
just call that, stolen valor. Kind of like when people steal our, say that they were in war and they weren't. And that's something that, one of the big things that Warrior Companion and some of the things we can do with this podcast is, maybe get some type of legislation through, for veterans to have an ID card that do have service animals. That way they're not berated, by businesses, and businesses actually know that they are true service animal. So that's kind of another reason why that I wanted to do these podcasts, because I wanted to show how important and the stuff that these veterans go through with having a true service animal that means actually does work, are dealing with out there in the public. I mean, Michael's been kicked out of restaurants, out of,
well, they've
uh,
tried.
well, they try, but they try to kick him out of restaurants and hardware stores and everything
Yes.
else. And Michael's one of those guys that you don't kick him out very easily. He brings up the law.
I
And
carried law with me.
so, so that's one of the things that I'm hoping that we can build with these podcasts and with Warrior Companion, that we can actually start having some legitimacy behind the veterans and their service animals, so that they don't have to deal with people that don't understand. And that's what it is. They're just not informed properly, and we just got to educate them. So that's kind of one of the things why we're doing what we're doing today. So Michael, you tell me, I've seen Sophia work with you.
Right.
Kind of tell me how Sophia alerts you when you're getting ready to have a seizure, and about how often does she let you know way in advance so you can get to yourself to a safe space?
All right. So she has two alerts. I do actually have PTSD from combat.
Nah, I don't believe that, but okay.
It's true. And so she'll, if I'm starting to get like all antsy and riled up, and because I one of if one of my PTSD symptoms is being like Tigger. Um, Winnie the Pooh was explained to the son. Every character is a symptom of PTSD. I'm the Tigger guy. I get bouncing around, I get jumping around, um, and she'll jump up and she'll lick my ear, and she'll try to lick my neck and break out of that uh, PTSD episode. For a seizure, she'll jump up and she'll just throw her whole weight dead into my chest.
If I can just add on Michael's wife,
Hey,
she really has been
welcome to the Warrior
able to
Companion
show me
Podcast.
independence, to be able to do so many things that it really is. It's a wonderful thing, and our lives would be so much more difficult if we didn't have Sophia with Michael, because it is, and Michael just, and I know he hates when I use this word, but it is a very intimate relationship that the two of them have. And I'm thankful for her. I'm thankful for her because it allows him to do things. And he didn't have Sophia. He'd have never been able to go out to Las Vegas. There'd be many places, many things he wouldn't do. There'd be many things that we would be scrambling, because she does let us know that he is having something coming if we're shopping in the grocery store. It allows him to go, you know what, I'm going to go into the car because something's coming on, you finish up. So she has really just allowed a lot of independence. Sorry, I just had to put
That's fine.
I'm a woman, I had to put my
But
opinion
no,
in there. I
but we
don't
need.
think Michael fully realizes all the time.
She can't hear you. You're in my hearing aids and not out
I
in
don't
the
think
open.
Michael realizes all the time how how dep how the relationship is so supportive, because he can't, when he's having a seizure, he cannot realize what's going on. When he's in a big crowd of people, she will circle him so that people do not get too close to him, and he doesn't, he's not starting with the PTSD. She is so necessary in his life that we are so thankful for her. And we're so thankful to you, Jack, for introducing Warrior and to help us with the training and the insurance. I can't thank you enough.
Hey,
Well,
Mike,
Yes.
we want to introduce her properly.
Oh,
We don't.
they want to introduce you properly.
Yeah.
Victoria's Secret. Oh, okay.
that's
All right.
Who is this beautiful woman standing behind you?
This is Natalie Epstein, my wife of 25 years. Um, she stuck with me. I became fully disabled, and she didn't run out like many. You hear of the many stories of veterans that are divorced because their wives just, couldn't handle the disability. She's
or the
wonderful.
veteran himself.
Yeah. um, and yep.
I can see the whole picture between him and Victoria, where I think he can only, Victoria, our daughter.
Our daughter's
I can
Victoria.
see the whole picture between him and Sophia, where I don't think that he necessarily does. And as much as she takes care of him, he takes care of her too. It is a very wonderful relationship, and
I,
I just love it.
and that's why I had Michael on as our first guest, because I see that when he travels with me, when we play golf together. Um, he and Sophia are one and the same. Sophia is always on duty when he's around. And it's just amazing to watch a companion like that have his back 24/7. Um, so, I'm proud to know Michael, and I'm really proud to met Sophia. Um,
I'm happy that, I'm proud that you, for whatever stupid reason, said, "Hey, this guy's okay. Let me hang out with him." You know?
well, one we're brothers from another, and we served together, and it's
Yeah, but
that's huge right there.
we both have brothers from another that the only reason that we still talk to them is because
Right,
we
right,
fought
right.
together.
Yeah,
You
well,
know, that's
I love you, so and Sophia is very special.
oh yes,
Um, so.
yep, she is. So
So talk a little bit about your service, where you served, and how long you were in, what
all
your
right,
rank was,
okay.
and we'll do a
So
little recap on who Epi is.
okay. I went in the army October 5th of '83. I got out August of '92. Um, I was going to be a lifer in the infantry. There was no doubt since I was 5 years old. I saw I saw a parade marching down the Grand Concourse. They used to there was the middle lanes and then the side lanes. They used to block off the middle lane and have Veterans Day and Memorial Day parades down past Fordham Road, and that's the Bronx for those that don't know. Um, I just thought that was really cool. Desert Patrol and all those good movies that you watch when you're a kid, and it just I feel that part of the issue with veterans is the ones that are born to it and that's what they want to do. They're limited by the government to their 4 years, their 8 years, and then they kick them out. And we're a pack animal, a tribal animal. When people were warriors, and if they didn't get killed or too injured, or they became too injured, they became honored elders. But that's what they were born to do, and felt drawn to. Just like doctors say, "Well, I was born for this," or a lawyer will say, "Hey, I was born for this." That's the same thing for the warrior. And I think a lot of guys are having issues because they no longer have that ethos. They have the ethos, they don't have the ability to continue doing what they were born to do.
Right.
Um, and so I went in. I knew I was going into infantry. I went to Bamberg, Germany, and Bravo Company 154 Infantry. Um, I was a dragon gunner, so the geek in me as a D&D nerd was in one station unit training. They made me a dragon gunner. I was like, woo, dragon, yes. It's a medium anti-tank missile. Um, at the time, my unit was the most forward deployed uh, unit on the Eastern Front against the Soviets and the East Germans and Czechoslovakians. So when you break it down, the Dragon Gunner for Bravo Company, Second Squad, Second Platoon was me, and that would be the very first person that fires at a tank if you survive the 20-minute, artillery barrage that the Soviets like to throw at you. And I also found out that when you fire the Dragon, you have a big white cloud, so you're silhouetted, and you got to hold your target for 10 seconds. So I had about an 18-second life expectancy at 18. Um, I moved from there uh, to Fort Benning, Georgia, the 3rd and 7th Infantry, 2nd to the 18th. Um, Then I moved back to Bamberg, Germany for my second tour over there, 88 till 91, 92. Um, we went to war. We deployed from Germany down into Saudi Arabia, stayed at the new drop in. We got our vehicles after the air war started. Um, our dismount, I was a Bradley gunner during the war. So while all the guys that dismounted went out into the desert to set up, we were waiting on our Bradleys so we could paint them. We could, put the markings on them and get them ready to go. And then we road marched out west past the Wadi Albatine, linked up, and then they started the war. So we went through the berms. We fought for 276 miles of straight combat. There was no downtime. There was no going back to a base or anything. We just kept uh, kept on moving right up through Medina Ridge.
We were the crap through the goose.
Yeah, yep, yes, we were. We fought right up until the ceasefire. We didn't stop until that ceasefire. Um, I think I got maybe 15 minutes of sleep throughout the
in
whole
three
thing.
in 3 days.
Four
Yeah.
days, because we
Yeah.
started fighting on the 24th and stopped on midnight of the first of,
Yep.
of so there was 4 days, 278 miles, 76 miles. We didn't stop. We did the big left hook. Um, and I
And
mean,
during
my
and during that time, you were exposed to nerve agent,
yes,
and
we
that's what caused your
seizures.
disability,
Yep.
and that's
Yes.
why Sophia is in your life.
There you go. That's how it all
So,
ties in.
and that's basically, I wanted the people to know what you experienced and why Sophia,
Right.
with the PTSD and mainly because of the seizures, because
It's right.
you want to
The
make sure you're
seizures
sitting
took me.
down.
The seizures took me out of work. I worked for Verizon for 20 years. I started off with NYNEX, New York, New England Exchange phone company. And I kept telling the VA that I would be perfectly cognizant and perfectly thinking, and then snap my fingers and go, hey, okay, I'm on Route 52. I pick up the work order and go, I'm going to Youngsville, okay, and have to rebuild all my thoughts and memories. And we were hit by nerve agent by the Iraqi Republican Guards artillery unit that we were attacking. Um, as we were going up, our M8 alarms went off on the Bradleys. We had warning tape that turned splotchy. We masked up, um, and then we broke out test kits to see what we were being hit with. It showed blister agent. I don't know if you can see my hands, but they're pretty bad. My whole body's like that. And we were hit by nerve agent according to the test kits. Then, as I was shooting the artillery pieces and artillerists, I was using 25 millimeter HE, which has a 5 meter burst radius. It's like throwing a grenade 1,500 meters. And as I was hitting them, they were exploding and hitting the munitions. When we overran our objective and we reconsolidated, you could see crates of sarin artillery shells with stenciled skull and crossbones, and it said sarin for use by the Royal Jordanian Army. We took pictures, um, and then we moved on. And on March 2nd, our engineers blew up a
Kayamashi, yep.
Kayamashi ammo dump. They blew up a giant ammo dump full of chemicals, and idiot us are standing out there taking pictures of the plume. I mean, we were so close that you could feel the concussion in your chest of the explosions and the plumes going up over our shoulders, and we're all posing in front of it. But luckily for us, the VA had our unit as 7.6 infantry being exposed to that. So it took 2002 until 2017 before the VA accepted my case as being service connected. But once I showed them, I got in front of a judge. I had to go in front of the Veterans Board of Appeals, and that's when I brought in the list of affected units, and it was all granted. So Sophia came into my life. She started alerting when I would have seizures. We did the training, and then she hasn't left my side really since. Jack and I have traveled together, and he's seen her. He's seen her in action.
Yeah.
He's had to hold her while I go to the latrine because I don't like to bring her in there. Her paws. And what'd she do, Jack?
She waited, sat there and watched him walk to the bathroom and watched him walk back. She would not take her focus off of him the entire time, um, as he walked to the restroom.
Yep. And
So
she's driving somewhere. She'll all of a sudden like come from the back and throw herself on me. Hey, so we know, hey, it's seizure time, and she's 100% correct when it comes to time a seizure warning, but she doesn't indicate how strong the seizure will be because there's small, fast blinks where I'm just like, what did I just say? What are we doing? Where
and then full blown seizures.
right, there's the full blown ones where I just got to go to bed. I just got to go lay down. In Vegas, I was playing craps for the first time, uh, and I was just on a roll. And all of a sudden, she's up there and she's pushing on me. So I started off with $100 in chips and I cashed out for $400. I was like, all right, time to go. And I went up to the room, went to sleep.
So
Uh,
she always has your back, even at the crap table.
yep, yep, yes, she does. She keeps people off, like Natalie had said. She'll walk around me, and she doesn't, you know,
And
and
what a lot of people don't realize is it's not that we're anti um, people. We're just anti groups of people because we were trained never to be in a group of people, and our anxiety levels increase because usually that when things happen and bad things happen, there's more than a dozen people that are around you at the time. And it's not that we don't want to be there. It's just that our minds are telling us that we're in danger, and that trips a lot of our PTSD. So for those listening to this podcast, why Sophia keeps a barrier around her is that she's protecting her family unit and her veteran, from having a PTSD moment or even having a seizure moment.
yeah,
So
Well, I didn't realize, that was one of the things that would be a problem being around groups of people. But now I can see your point. I can see why. Because that's how you dealt with that in the military. You didn't want to be in a group of people; things could go wrong. So, yeah, that's
that's
something
the bigger
that
the target, the more opposite, the more possibility of being targeted.
yeah, we
That the more they can kill at one time is their philosophy.
there's a reason why we keep 5 meters between everybody when you're on maneuvers or you're doing a wedge or in line or whatever you're doing, because a grenade has a 5 meter burst radius. So we
Yeah.
keep that 5 meter spacing.
And that's why we did so well with COVID, being 6 feet away from each
There you go.
other.
Happy, you mentioned earlier that you can launch a grenade 1,500 meters.
No,
Oh
it's a
yeah.
25 millimeter high explosive round.
Oh, okay.
So, it's, and
It's the
you're
size of
firing
an
a lot of,
eggplant.
Yeah, you're firing it out of a Bushmaster cannon. So it's, but it has a 5 meter burst radius, the same as a grenade. So 1,500 meters is the burnout for your tracer. So I use 1,500 meters as my, you throw in
Gauge.
it. But with a grenade, with the high explosive rounds, you could actually walk on target out to 3,000 meters. As long as you could see the burst when you fire, you can adjust fire and just tonk 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 and put it on target.
They call that walking the rounds is what we call that.
But I'm so good that first couple rounds are gonna hit anyway, or I used to be. Uh,
Well,
Well,
this is
I want
fantastic.
to, yeah,
You on, Jack?
good. I want to thank Michael and Sophia for being my first podcast because, um, they both mean the world to me. Number one, and number two, they give me the ability and the reason to keep doing what I'm doing. Um, and they also help me with my PTSD and my struggles in life because I know that I'm here helping my brothers and sisters and their four-legged fur heroes. So it's self-serving at the same time, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that Michael's here, and
I'm
I'm really
happy that
happy
you're here.
Sophia's here. So
I mean, dude,
Hey, let's
man.
shift gears a little bit here. I know this is candid conversations, lighthearted conversations, and you're wondering what is a PJ golf professional involved on a podcast like this? We haven't talked about golf at all. Well, here's your chance. We're going to talk about golf because we have a golf tournament coming up called Warrior Companion. It's the Warrior Companion Golf Tournament. It's on Monday, October 13th at Columbus Day, right? World Golf Village, St. Augustine, Florida. And I've got a prop. I'm gonna get my studio here. I'm gonna reach up to the top here, and I'm gonna grab something.
don't get excited there, Epi, because it's the helmet.
Yeah, I know.
It's and for our viewers out there on our podcast. So here it is, and I want to explain this a little bit because I know Jack and Effie. Obviously, they're brothers. This guy, I mean, a guy named Michael Furr, who's won 5 Guinness World Records. Like you don't win them, you hold them, you earn them, and he's
Right.
got 5 Guinness World Records for hitting the longest golf club. And we had the great pleasure of him coming down to St. Petersburg this past week, and we filmed some promotional videos for Warrior Companion, and we had Jack on our On the Tee Florida radio show. And one of our clips, and if you go visit warriorcompanion.com, or if you go to social media at Companion, you'll find this clip out there. And this is his Guinness helmet. But the funny thing about it was Jack sat on the ground while Michael hit a golf ball off there. So what you do is you take a golf ball and you put it on top of this tee right here like this, and then you sit on the ground and he hits it right off his head. So this is a really nice
And
prop.
that's a trust moment, let me tell you, to have someone
And
swing a
it's not
golf
a
club at
regular club.
100 miles an hour
It's
at your
his
head.
10-footer too.
Yeah, I think just put it on your head like this. There we go. It's on my head. It's ready to go. I don't know if I have a golf ball somewhere. I do have a golf ball here. Hold on a sec. Yeah, I'm going to grab a golf ball here. We got. I'll grab an orange one.
I was going to
Jack,
say, you not having a golf ball within reach, there'd be a problem there, John.
well, you may not be able to see it on the camera here, so I'm going to take the helmet off, put my fedora back on there so you don't see my bald spot. Here we go. And see, this golf ball sits right on top of it like this. I'm gonna try to hold it steady. There it goes, and then Michael hits the golf ball right off the top of that. But Michael does this at our tournaments. Our tournament's Monday, October 13th at World Golf Village, the King and the Bear Golf Club in St. Augustine. Michael will be there right on the middle of the golf course. He'll be doing these kind of antics and much more to help us raise money for the Warrior Companion folks. And so anyway, I just wanted to show everybody this helmet. I guess I'm the keeper of it, and I can't get rid of this thing out of my garage until October. So just wanted to mention that about our golf tournament and just the fun that we know we're going to have. We're going to raise some great money for Warrior Companion.
And I want to thank you, John, for helping me with the mic'd up and getting this podcast off the ground. Because without you, it'd probably be still sitting idle somewhere in the back of my mind. And you are the driving force to make me do it and get it going and help me. Basically did everything for me. So I really appreciate you, John, more than you ever know.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I tell you what, this is a lot of fun, and so we're looking forward to doing these pause casts. I got to get this right. It's pronounce it, Jack.
Pod.
Okay, not pod, but pod. Okay, I got it.
Pod. Texas pod.
Podcast. Okay, we got it. Okay, I'm gonna have to work on that. I'm gonna say it about 1,000 times this week before our next pause cast.
Pod.
All right, well let's just go ahead and wrap this thing up here. And Michael, thank you very much. I've
Appreciate
learned.
you, brother.
Oh, thanks for having me, man.
Learned. Let's get Sophia on here one more time. Where is she?
Sophia, come here.
We got make sure we see Sophia again.
Come here, good girl. Come here. Come here.
There we go. Hey, Sophia.
Hey.
Come
here. Come here. All right. I'm going to do it that way.
Oh, excellent. Very nice. Thank you, Sophia, for being on the PAWS, and so we're looking forward to maybe seeing you again sometime. But Mike, Epi, thank you very much.
You're actually going to meet Michael and Sophia at the golf tournament.
Yes.
Well,
he is always going to be our special guest. He's going to be one of them. We have Chris and Skeeter, and we're going to have Michael and Sophia.
That is absolutely wonderful. I look forward to meeting you both in person.
Oh.
All right, everybody. So you've been listening to the Warrior Companion podcast. We've enjoyed candid conversations and light banter about healing, hope, and heroes through the eyes of the folks from Warrior Companion, Jack and Mike Epstein and their canines. Remember, not all heroes wear capes. Some also have paws. So this podcast, The Warrior Companion, was brought to you by Zenni Optical, high-quality, affordable eyewear for all at zennioptical.com, and sponsored by the Animal Hospital of Sullivan County, New York, where pets are family at ahofsc.com, stands for Animal Hospital, SullivanCounty.com. So on behalf of Jack, Epi, Zenni Optical, Animal Hospital, Sullivan County, New York, Warrior Companion, and Mic'd Up, I'm John Rager, PGA, and look forward to our next PAWS cast next Friday. Thank you for listening.
Have a good one.